Gay marriage is a highly controversial issue facing our culture and society, and it can mainly be accredited to our self-centeredness and intolerance. However, today I will articulate to you my personal stance on gay marriage and basically my argument or my parry to the argument of people who are against gay marriage legalization. Now, to both parties of this argument, I highly encourage you to comment and leave your opinions in the video below because I feel that everyone should have a fair say in this argument, and I'm really always interested to hear others' opinions and why they feel a certain way about a topic. So my first argument to those against gay marriage legalization is that they say marriage is a definition between a man and a woman. And yes, this is true. However, dictionaries and our culture is apt to change or are apt to change due to cultural reforms. So I really think that the definition of marriage can be changed. And yes, that is how it is now. However, I have an argument for you guys out there because the definition of marriage and love are closely intertwined. I hope you agree with me. And my basic argument with this is that love is not really a gender-specific term. For example, I can love my mom, I can love my dad. Just because I love my dad, it doesn't make me gay in any way, shape, or form. But marriage, or my apologies, love really isn't gender specific. So I believe that by saying gay marriage is not marriage, then I think that is just flat out discriminatory, and love is a universal term. My next point to bring up is that those against gay marriage say that gay marriage may lead to incestuous, polygamous, and bestial non-traditional marriages. And I really don't think that by ratifying or legalizing gay marriage, I don't really think that that would lead to people arguing to legalize marriage between animals. I mean, yes, personally, I don't think that animals are above or below us. I think that they're right there with us and they're not subhuman. But those who say that argument or advocate that argument, I don't really think that's necessarily true. As much as I advocate equality and opportunity, I don't think that marriage between other species should be legalized. However, incestuous relationships, yes, obviously, well, not obviously, in my opinion, I think that if a brother and a sister or anyone with close family ties, if they have sexual relations, yes, I think that's kind of odd and unorthodox, I guess you could say. But on the contrary, I think that if you love someone very much in your family and you're fifth cousins, let's say, or so, then yes, I see no issue in marrying and having sexual relations in that sense. And also, technically, everyone in the world is related when you really think about it. I mean, let's say my uncle, he's a photographer, and he's related to, or he's had ties with these other people who have worked with him, and they have other ties, and it's just kind of a chain reaction of genealogy. So in that sense, everyone is related as well. My next point is that non-gay marriage advocates say that taxes shouldn't be paid for gay couples and that they shouldn't be allowed to reap the benefits of a tax exemption for another spouse that they're married to. Now, I really don't get where this argument is coming from, because if people who have a heterosexual relationship and they're married, if they're exempt from taxes and they say that they don't want to pay for the tax exemption, or they don't want to allow tax exemption for gay couples, then isn't it equally allowed that people who are gay have the right to say that they're not allowed, or they don't have the right to allow heterosexual couples to not pay a tax exemption? So I think it's really contradictory in that sense, considering that it's just basically hypocritical in saying that if I'm married to a woman then gay people need to pay for me, but I'm not willing to pay for their couple because they have an unorthodox relationship. I think that is just flat out idiotic, and I mean that's just stupid. And I mean, if the government is already robbing our taxes for drone strikes, instituting FEMA camps, and sending Mrs. Obama to the Olympics, I mean, really? I just can't see the light of that argument. Um, and lastly, the last point, or the second last point that I have, is that non-gay marriage advocates say that marriage is not a right. And yes, that is true, but again, I think it's ignorant and hypocritical because the Declaration of Independence says that all men are created equal. They have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If gay people aren't allowed, or if gay people aren't allowed to marry, then isn't that hypocritical in saying that all men have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? In my opinion, it is, because if someone really loves someone to the extent that they're willing to devote the rest of their lives to them in the form of marriage, then I think they deserve the right to happiness. And another big point that I have with this is that it's really not anybody else's business than those involved in the relationship of what goes on. I mean, it's really not any of our business, and if they want to do things, that's their business. And I mean, as long as they're not infringing upon our civil liberties and our rights, then I really see no issue in that. And lastly, people say that gay marriage doesn't extend procreation, and this is one of my most passionate arguments that I like to argue against, because there's this other controversial issue, which will be another rant someday, that is called abortion, aborting a fetus within a woman's womb. Now, I'm not going to state any of my opinions on this right now, but if homosexual couples adopt a child, then that is kind of extending procreation more than having a heterosexual couple that has a baby and then they abort that baby. I mean, that makes no sense to me, and I think that's very hypocritical. Also, heterosexual couples can have clinical defections to giving birth to a baby or creating a baby, so in that sense, procreation isn't extended either, yet those people aren't bashed for their stances on procreation and marriage. I mean, it just doesn't really account to anything. Also, something that I thought of with this argument is that with procreation, why would we want to continue creating such a saturation of human beings in this culture when we're already facing terrible effects of overpopulation in this nation? In China, you're only allowed to have one child per family, and yet people in America who are being married as a gay couple, they're not allowed to, or not allowed, they're being bashed for not extending procreation. Well, abortion, and in China, when they have to pay extra to have multiple children or those children are killed, it just doesn't add up. So, in short, I am a pro-gay marriage advocate. I think that everyone has equal opportunity and equal rights in our society, whether they are gay, straight, bisexual, heterosexual, American, African American, Asian, any race possible you can think of, any probability of factors into a person. I think we are all equal. Nobody is subhuman. And I think everybody has the right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Thank you all for watching. I will hope to see you soon. And if you have any other opinions you'd like to mention, please comment them below. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.